Good morning. Today we are going to take our second chapter. Our chapter name is Windows of Knowledge. Okay, last class we completed our first chapter and today we are dealing with our second chapter. In this chapter, we are going to study about the structure and function of our sense organs. You all know about our sense organs, is it? So in this chapter, we are going to study about our sense organs and what are the parts of each sense organ and how they are all are working. We are going to study about this. In this first sense organ, we are going to study about our eye. You all know that it's one of the most important sense organs, is it? In that, our eye is working like a camera, capturing all the pictures, is it? And our eye has a peculiarity that it can hold that scene, what we are seeing it can hold that for a particular period of time. And that peculiarity of our eye helps us to view our television. Now television, the pictures are going very fast, coming and going very fastly, but we are seeing it as a continuation of each scene. And this because of our peculiarity of the eye to hold that scene for a particular period of time. Is it clear for you? Then in this first step, we can see about the structure of the eye, which are the parts of the eye. So here in this picture, you can see the eye has three layers. Okay, which are the layers of eye? The eye has three layers. They are namely sclera, choroid, retina. You can see in the picture labeled diagram. You can see sclera, choroid, retina. Sclera is the outermost white colored part of the eye, layer of the eye is the sclera, and it is made up of connective tissue. Then about choroid, the middle layer is called as the choroid and it consists of a large number of blood vessels. So in the choroid, large number of blood vessels are present and the outer white colored layer is called as the sclera. And the innermost layer is known as the retina. And the retina, the importance of retina is the image formation take place on the retina. And the retina consists of the photoreceptors. And what is photoreceptors and all that you will study after this function and parts after that you will study about that. So retina is the innermost layer. Once more I will repeat it for you. There are three layers for the eye. The first layer is the sclera. It is white in color and it is made up of the connective tissue. And middle layer is the choroid and it consists of a large number of blood vessels. And the innermost layer is known as the retina. It is the innermost layer and the image formation takes place on this layer. And it consists of the photoreceptors. Then comes the cornea, and you can see in the picture cornea. Cornea is the part of the sclera. You can see it is projected outside, is it? So the part of the sclera that is projected outside and it is transparent. This transparent part of cornea helps in refracting the rays. Refracting the light rays to fall on the retina to help in image formation on the retina. Is it clear for you? So cornea is the projected transparent anterior part of sclera. Anterior means the front portion. Posterior means back side. So cornea is the anterior, that means front portion of the sclera that helps in refracting the light rays to fall on the retina for the image formation. So with the help of refracting the light rays from the cornea, the image formation takes place on the retina. Then comes the conjunctiva. You can see in the picture conjunctiva. Conjunctiva helps in protecting and covering the sclera except cornea. You can see that cornea is not covered with conjunctiva. So conjunctiva is the part of the eye that cover and protect the sclera. What is sclera? Sclera is the outermost layer of the eye. So conjunctiva is the part of the eye that cover and protect the outermost layer, sclera, but except cornea, except the portion cornea. Cornea is the projected, transparent part of the sclera. Then comes the iris. Iris, you can see in the picture, iris. Iris is the choroid, portion of the choroid, the middle layer choroid. So iris is the portion of the choroid that comes behind the sclera. So first layer is sclera, behind the sclera, the portion of the choroid, that is iris. And the iris is dark in color because of the pigment melanin. Melanin is the pigment that gives dark color to the iris. And in the iris, you can see an aperture. It's a hole, and that is pupil. The pupil, the size of the pupil is adjusted according to the intensity of the light. That means in the dim light, the size of the pupil will be enlarged, and in the bright light, the size of the pupil will constrict. And this is adjusted according to the relaxation and contraction of the radial and circular muscles. In the dim light, the radial muscles contract, and in the bright light, the circular muscles contract. So, according to the combination of these radial and circular muscles, the size of the pupil is adjusted during the dim light and the bright light. Then comes the lens in our eyes. A convex, transparent, elastic, convex lens is present inside our eyes. So you should keep in your mind, convex lens is present inside our eyes, and it is elastic and transparent. And this lens is connected to the ciliary body or ciliary muscles with the help of a thread-like structure called the ligaments. Okay, so elastic, transparent, convex lens is present in our eyes, and this lens is connected to the ciliary muscles with the help of a thread-like structure known as the ligaments. Then comes the ciliary body or the ciliary muscles. The ciliary muscles are circular muscles seen around the lens, and this relaxation and contraction of the ciliary muscles depend on the curvature of the lens is depending on the increasing curvature and decreasing the curvature of the lens is altering the curvature of the lens is depending on the relaxation and the contraction of the ciliary muscles. Then aqueous humor, and thus it is given as the anterior chamber. Instead of anterior chamber, in that it is also known as aqueous chamber. There are two kinds of fluids present in the eye, aqueous humor and vitreous humor. Two kinds of fluids, the aqueous humor and the vitreous humor. The aqueous humor is present inside the aqueous chamber that is present in between the cornea and the lens. You can see anterior chamber, that portion is known as the aqueous chamber, and inside that aqueous fluid is the aqueous humor is present. And about the aqueous humor, it is a water-like fluid present inside the aqueous chamber. And the function of this fluid is nourishes and provides nutrients to the tissues of the eye. Provides nutrients and nourishes the tissues of the eye. Then about the vitreous body, it is given as the vitreous body, and it is known as the vitreous chamber. You can see its position. It's between the lens and the retina, that is the innermost layer. So in between the lens and the retina is the vitreous body or the vitreous chamber. Inside the vitreous chamber, the fluid called the vitreous humor is present. And what is the peculiarity of this fluid? It is a jelly-like fluid, and it maintains the shape of the eye. You can see, and the 3/4 of the eye is filled with the vitreous humor. It is a jelly-like fluid, and it maintains its function. What is its function? It maintains the shape of the eye, and it is about its location. It is present in between the lens and the retina, and this fluid, vitreous humor, is present in the vitreous chamber. Then about there it is macula. It is given as the macula. It is also known as the yellow spot. Okay, yellow spot in the retina there are two portions, yellow spot and blind spot. You can see as one portion as optic disc. There is the blind spot present, and as macula is the yellow spot. Yellow spot is the area of maximum vision. So if a question comes, why yellow spot is known as the area of maximum vision? Because the photoreceptors are more in number. I have told you the first part itself, that is retina is the innermost layer which consists of the photoreceptors. So more photoreceptors are present in the yellow spot. Then about the blind spot, as its name indicates, it's blind. That means there is no photoreceptors are absent in the blind spot, and it is the blind spot from where the optic nerve arises. And what is the peculiarity of the optic nerve? That is, optic nerve carry the impulses from the photoreceptors to the visual area of the brain, that is cerebrum. And we are able to sense what we have seen. The vision is able because of the help of optic nerve, because it carries impulses or messages from the photoreceptors to the visual area of the brain, that is cerebrum. Now, I think it's clear for you about the parts of the eye, all the parts of the eye, and about its function, it's clear for you. So in order to make it once more, it's clearer, you can see a video regarding the structure or function of the each part. You can watch a video now.
Nature has located the eye close to the brain so that its messages may arrive there quickly. The eyeball is completely surrounded by a layer of soft fatty tissue and placed within a bony orbit where eye is protected. Seeing from inside, the protected position of the eyeball within its funnel-shaped eye socket is shown still more clearly. Note that this is a white stalk called optic nerve which connects the eye to the brain, and also these muscles which move the eyeball. This is the empty eye socket within the skull, with its bony wall inside and a bony orbit in front. The capsule of the eyeball seems to have 3 layers. This thick, tough outer layer is called the sclera and serves to protect the delicate structure within. This transparent bulging portion is called the cornea. There is also a crystalline lens, which is one of the main parts of the human eye. The second layer is called the choroid. It consists of 3 different zones. The first zone is called choroid proper, and it is the part that carries nourishment to the tissues of the eye. The next zone is called the ciliary body. This is the broad ring-shaped band of thin muscle fibers which plays a very active and vital role in the vision adjustment of the eye. The third zone is a well-known iris which expands and contracts the pupil much like the diaphragm of the camera. The innermost layer of the eyeball is the retina, a very delicate membrane. The retina is actually the part of the optic nerve which transmits the light impulses to our brain. The retina is the most important and complex structure in the eyeball. It consists of a complicated arrangement of rods and cones which convert light waves into nerve impulses. Between the lens and the cornea is the aqueous humor, consisting mostly of water and a little salt. This largest space within the eye is filled with vitreous humor, consisting chiefly of water mixed with salt and albumin. It is a highly transparent jelly-like substance and plays a very important role in visual adjustment. The reflected light of the world enters through the crystal transparency of the cornea, pupil, aqueous humor, lens and vitreous humor, which is a clear gel-like substance that fills the middle of the eye and then projects on to the photoreceptors of the retina, which is a photosensitive tissue lying at the back of the eye. The macula is a very small area at the center of the retina that gives us a fine pinpoint center of vision. The area of retina surrounding the macula gives us a peripheral or side vision. The retina converts the light rays into the signals that are sent to the optic nerve and then to the brain. Continual adjustment of the pupil and lens regulates the entry and focusing of light. Every blink helps our eye's natural defense system. The tear film retains moisture and maintains visual acuity. Tear gland secretes the tear fluid, which contains important natural disinfectants to keep bacteria away, and it drains through the tear duct into the nose after flushing and cleaning the entire eye surface, and thus the tear system washes away impurities to maintain eye health.
So I think now it's clear for you about the parts of the eye and what is the function of each part. And you have seen the video, and the eye is placed in a socket, a bony socket in the skull. And the eye is also protected with the help of the outer protection of the eye is our eyebrows, then eyelid, eyelashes, and our tears are also helping in the protection of eye by removing the dust particles. And all these external parts are also helping our eye, protecting our eye from the dust and the germs or other things. Is it? Now, we are going to study about the two terms, that is binocular vision and power of accommodation of eye. What do you mean by the power of accommodation of eye? That means the property of our eye to adjust the focal length. Adjust the focal length by changing its curvature of the lens. Adjust the focal length by changing the curvature of the lens according to the distance of the object. And this property is known as the power of accommodation of eye. So once more I tell you the property of our eye to adjust the focal length by changing the curvature of the lens. By changing the curvature of the lens. This property, according to the distance between the eye and the object. This property is known as the power of accommodation of the eye. Then, next point I have told is binocular vision. What do you mean by binocular vision? I have told you now the image formation is taking place on the retina. A real inverted image is formed inside the retina. So, how it does, how this, with the help of inside our eyes, a convex lens is present. So we know that the image formation is taking place in both of our eyes. That means we are having two eyes. So this image formation is taking place in the both of our eyes, but we are viewing an object, only a single object. So why we are not seeing two objects yet? Because we are having two eyes now. Instead of our two eyes, retina is on the two retina. What is happening? Image formation is taking place, but we are seeing only one object. Why it is that? The reason for that is that the image formation is taking place in both of our eyes. But what happens? This image is combined together. In the image formed in both of our eyes is combined together the visual area of the brain to form a single three-dimensional image. That's why we are viewing a three-dimensional image of an object. Is it clear for you? That's why we are not viewing two objects, even though we are having two eyes. Is it clear for you? So the image formed in both of our eyes is combined in the visual area of the brain, the cerebrum, visual area of the brain, and a single three-dimensional image is formed. Is it clear? So we are seeing a three-dimensional image of an object, even though we are having two eyes. This property is known as the binocular vision. So, what is power of accommodation of eye? The property of the eye to adjust the focal length by changing the curvature according to the distance between the object and the eye. This property of the eye is called as the power of accommodation of eye. And what is the binocular vision? And that is the images are formed in both of our eyes, and these images combine together in the visual area of the brain to form a three-dimensional single image. And this is known as the binocular vision. Now we are going to deal with the photoreceptors. You have seen in the video about photoreceptors. You have seen there are two types of photoreceptors. Two cells are present. They are rod cells and cone cells. Rod cells, as its name indicates, it is rod shaped. So rod cells are rod shaped. And what about the pigment present in rod cells? It is rhodopsin. Okay. In the rod cells are rod shaped, and the rhodopsin pigment is present in the rod cells. And this pigment is made up of opsin. The opsin molecule, it's a protein, and retinal, which is derived from vitamin A. And this photopsin, it's also made up of photopsin means the pigment present in the cone cells. Okay, so rod cells and cone cells are the two types of cells present in the photoreceptors. So these are the two photoreceptors present inside our eyes. Rod cells and cone cells are the photoreceptors. So rod cells consist of the pigment rhodopsin, and it is rod shaped. Cone cells, as its name indicates, it is cone shaped, and it consists of the pigment photopsin or iodopsin. So cone cell consists of the pigment photopsin or iodopsin. It is also made up of the opsin and retinal. And cone cells are of three different types, that is blue, green and red, which helps us to detect the primary colors. This different cone cells are present because of the diversity because of the difference in the amino acid present in the opsin molecule of the cone cell. What do you mean by amino acid? You know that I told you opsin is a protein. So protein, the basic unit of protein is amino acid. You have studied it. So this the difference in this amino acid in the different cone cell is the reason different types of cone cells are present in our eyes. Three different types of cone cells are present for us, so that is blue, green and red. And another thing is cone cells helps us in the daylight vision. Because of the cone cells, we are able to see the colorful world. And rod cells helps us in the dim light vision. So after in the evening, we are able to see, and the night and the evening, we are able to see. After the sunset, we are able to see because of the presence of rod cells. And another thing is in night birds and cat, dog, etc. They are able to see. The night vision is possible for them because in the more number of rod cells are present, because rod cells helps in the dim light vision. And in the night birds, cone cells are absent. That's why in the daytime they are not able to see anything. Is it clear for you? Then this rod cells and cone cells. Rod cells helps in the dim light vision, and cone cells helps in the daylight vision. Then when the light, in the presence of light, these cone cells and rod cells consist of the pigments, that is rhodopsin and photopsin, dissociate, splits into opsin and retinal. At that time, a impulse is formed, a message is formed. That message is sent through the optic nerve to the visual area of the brain, that is cerebrum, and that's how we are able to see the objects. It's clear for you. So this is about the rod cell and the cone cell. Then about the different diseases that is affecting the eye, that we can study in the next part. So I think it's clear for you about the different parts of the eye and about the photoreceptors, which are the two photoreceptors, which are the photoreceptors present inside our eye, that is cone cells and rod cell. And if a difference between cone cell and rod cell is asked, rod cell is the rod-shaped, cone cell is cone-shaped. Rod cell consists of the pigment rhodopsin. Cone cell consists of the pigment photopsin or iodopsin. Rod cell helps in dim light vision. Cone cell helps in bright light vision. There are three types of cone cells, that is blue, green, and red. The difference in color is due to the presence or due to the difference in the amino acid in the opsin molecule of each cone cell. This is about the cones. And what about the birds? In birds, there are 4 kinds of cone cell are present. So more than us, they are seeing the more colorful. They are seeing the bird. About the birds, 4 kinds of cone cells are present. For us, 3 types of cone cells are present. And the night vision is possible because for the night birds and other animals, night vision is possible because of the more amount of rod cells present in them. And in night birds, cone cells are absent. Is it clear for you? So if you are having any doubt, you can ask me in the WhatsApp. Okay, thank you.